Yes, welcome everybody to our Wellness Wednesday meetup series. We're so glad that you are here. And our goal is always just to share some education, some inspiration, have some fun together, help you with your health. And you are in for such a treat tonight, you guys, because hopefully you've already just met the wonderful Jake and Jenna Rude. They are amazing and we all just adore them. They're both UCLA grads. They live in Charlotte, North Carolina. They have two beautiful daughters and apparently a little picky on the eating side. Jenna has been on Juice Plus for 28 years, Jake for 15 years, national marketing director since they were 25. So really, they have so much wisdom to bring here tonight. And Jenna was raised as a plant-based eater. Jake, not so much from what I know, but I think we're going to hear a little bit more about that story and just really how they're parenting and how they have mastered the art of picky eating hacks, really getting more plants into their kids. So we can't wait to learn more. This is such an important topic. So thanks so much for being here, Jake and Jenna.
Awesome. Jennifer, thank you so much. Hi, guys. Welcome. We are so excited because we just got our girls to sleep. So hopefully they will be upstairs during this call so we can move quickly and give you guys a lot of value today. I'm so grateful for this community. As you know, if you're on the line, we are pouring as much as we can into you guys because we want you to succeed. And we hope you've had an amazing experience so far following the guidelines and starting the Juice Plus habit. I know for me, I am extremely grateful for that. We're talking tonight about picky eating habits and how to break those habits and a few ideas for you guys. But we're also talking about the big concept of how do we survive without dairy, which is something that we get a lot of questions about. My husband, Jake, and you want to introduce yourself?
Hello. Jake.
We'll let him talk a little bit tonight. You'll see. He's my sous chef and my best friend in the whole world, and we get to do life together and do business together, and I'm so grateful. And so we are here tonight to really share with you guys how to survive without eating dairy, how to make plants creamy and cheesy and delicious. It's a big part of what we do in our own kitchen and as well in our Raised on Plants app that we founded. That's a big passion of ours, is helping other families do this as well. So I know tonight you're going to get our resources. We have this ingredient list for you that hopefully you've already received. We're going to be making mac and cheese today, which is not really mac and cheese, but we're going to show you how to make it seem like that, especially for the picky eaters in your life. It's delicious and amazing. It's one of our favorite recipes that we have in our app, and we're so excited to be able to share that with you guys today. A lot of the other things that I'm going to go through are also in there as well. So if I'm going really fast and you need extra support, that's where to find them in our app. It's called Raised on Plants. The other thing that I have to start off by sharing with you guys is my ultimate hack for picky eating, which I didn't fully appreciate this until I became a mom myself, but my mom learned about our amazing Juice Plus capsules when I was only 5 years old. And at the time, my brother only ate white foods that didn't touch each other. Does anyone have any white foods that don't touch each other eaters in their house? If so, tell us in the chat box. And so she was extremely frustrated because she taught nutrition, teaches nutrition, and was realizing that sometimes kids are just different. I was a great eater. My brother wasn't. So when she found the Juice Plus plant powder, she was so excited to have a way to get more plants into our family in a really simple, convenient way. And I'm sure some of you are feeling the energy with that right now. Let's get some positivity in the chat box if you're loving your Juice Plus, or maybe how long you've been on it yourself if you have been with us for a long time. And we started to feel amazing. We're so grateful for what it did for our family. It was a catalyst for other healthy changes, just like we're talking about tonight, all of the amazing guidelines that you guys are following. And it was everything from, being able to live healthier lifestyle, visiting the doctor less, fewer days of, being sick, having more resilience, which is super important. And of course, all the little things that we were dealing with that added up started to just dissipate, started to go away. And and so super grateful for that plant-powered nutrition in our bodies. My brother actually started asking for broccoli for the first time in his life. I still remember my mom just like falling out of her chair in shock. The first night that he said, "Oh, I want some of that, Mom. Could I have some of that, please?" He was pointing to my plate. And that continued. He's now a plant, eater. He loves all plants. It's amazing to see how that works. When you get that nutrition in at the cellular level, your gut starts talking to your brain and starts actually telling your body, "I want more of that." So it's pretty cool, that metabolic programming. We see that happen all the time with people that start flooding their body with more plants. So when I went to college, I went to UCLA, and the second week of school, I met this kid. And dude, do you want to tell them how healthy you are at the time?
My metabolic programming was corn dogs. I used to eat 15 corn dogs a week. That's kind of been my claim to fame in this company. I don't know why I said that on camera.
Now you're starting it all over again.
People don't forget. And here I am starting all over again. So 15 corn dogs a week. I do 5 corn dogs, large French fry, and a Coke, and didn't get many plants in my diet. I met her. She said, "We need to change that. If you're going to date me, you're going to be on Juice Plus." Got on Juice Plus, and it was a catalyst, and now I'm a plant-based chef. You too can become a plant-based chef.
Amazing, Jake. No longer
All right.
No, it's truly incredible to see his journey with this. I mean, because little baby steps add up to a lot of things. And I can, honestly, both of us can say like his skin is different, his hair is different from when I met him.
Like, it was crazy. I'm a different human being. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. And then he was able to start sharing this, of course, with his family and seeing major benefits in their life. My view of this whole story with Jake was a ripple effect. It was, gosh, if I can share this with one person and he shares it with his family, look at the impact we're making. So that's when we both really were so excited about joining forces with the Juice Plus company, and haven't looked back since. It's our main source of income, and we're so grateful. It allows us to stay home with our babies and do life together and do things like this, share with you guys what we're doing in our own home, and just it's been a huge blessing. Now I will tell you that at the time when I was probably in my mid-20s, that was when the guidelines that you're following for this program first kind of surfaced. And I hadn't really thought about some of the things like, really watching how much gluten I was eating, how much dairy I was eating. I was dabbling in that, but until I actually followed the guidelines to a T, I remember it so well. I was dancing professionally in LA. I was doing photo shoots, fitness photo shoots, and I had to be in the best shape of my life. And I was constantly struggling with just the roller coaster of that, right? Like, okay, I can't eat this week, or I got to eat this week. And I was so excited to know when I followed these simple guidelines that you guys are following and did it over and over and over again, found the balance, of course, of what works for me. I didn't have to think about that anymore. I truly was my best, healthiest self and felt so good for the first time, really, I think, in my adult life. Finally found my flow with that. And coming from a dancer, that means a lot, right? Because your whole life is surrounded by this conversation of body image and other things too. So I was so grateful for that gift that not just Juice Plus gave us, but the catalyst of other lifestyle changes that happened. Can you speak to that at all?
Yes, I have had a massive change, and I saw energy levels just change. Like, what I was putting in my body was affecting me. I just never put two and two together, that what you feel like you are what you eat. It's real. Like,
literally, you are what you eat. He was corn dogs, and now he's
corn dogs. And a doctor said that to me one time, and I was like, "There's no way that has an effect on my skin." But I mean, come on, it of course it does. So I'm really happy with the journey that we're taking our little ones on, because they haven't had to experience things that I did when I was growing up. So I'm very, very grateful.
Exactly. That legacy of health, right? I mean, my youngest two, we have 2 girls, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. Our 5-year-old is an amazing eater. She's wonderful. She eats off our tower garden. She's my biggest pest control problem on my tower garden. She just eats off it all day. I have to plant my own basil at the top. And she has her own basil plant at the bottom because she just chomps it all day. My 2-year-old has humbled us
Mhm.
because we did the exact same thing that we did with Leah. However, she throws food against our wall and our floors, and we probably just get a new house once they're 18, right? So we have really learned so many strategies, and we're going to fire them off to you tonight and teach you some more. But definitely, I would say my top picky eating hack is Juice Plus, because it's your best tool as a parent or as a support person. If you're supporting somebody who's struggling with getting enough plants, to be able to consume a simple habit every day in capsules or soft chews, and be able to get over 30, if not more than that, when you're using the complete as well, right? We know and love our amazing complete. To get over 50 varieties of plants in your body, that is life-changing. And for a parent, your mental health will improve knowing that you are getting that in your child, especially if you're dealing with a picky eater. I feel like every morning I'm like, both of us are just like, oh, thank God we got it in her. Oh, thank goodness, you know?
And this is how we do it. You want me to show them this?
Sure.
We just, for Remy specifically, well, Leah just chews on them. She
Yeah.
chews on the capsules, but we open up the powders and then we mix it in with all different types of things. And it's changing because one morning she'll do it one way and then the next morning she won't.
Okay.
The peanut butter way has been really good. We've been mixing it with peanut butter on
Mhm.
some gluten-free bread, and she's been just devouring that.
Yeah, we make peanut butter juice plus toast for her.
Juice plus toast.
And honestly, the soft chews, our soft chews are wonderful, and I wish she would eat
Yeah,
them.
but she just doesn't.
But she doesn't like any gummy,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what gummy it is.
Who knows?
No, she doesn't like any of those. So we're having to get super creative. And I just want to encourage you to keep fighting for that for
Yeah.
your kids. If they all of a sudden don't like, the way you were giving them Juice Plus before, pivot and do
Pivot,
something
yeah.
different and keep changing it up because it's so worth it to get it in them. A couple other strategies, of course, the smoothies, right, are huge. So, opening up the capsules, pouring that into a smoothie, if they'll do that. We actually have an entire guideline of this that we developed in collaboration with our functional pediatrician, Dr. Diana, who's amazing. She's also an amazing leader on our Juice Plus team. And that is in the free part of our app for anybody as well, if you're looking for actual guidelines to be able to follow, and to send to young moms who are trying to start, at 6 months old and figure out how to actually do this, how to get the Juice Plus in babies. So that's for sure a picky eating hack. What else are you going to say about that?
The Siggy's, this is a plant-based coconut yogurt.
Mhm.
Mix that in there. We'll do that. We'd mash it up with avocado. We'll
Yeah.
mash it up with banana.
Yes.
There's just
All the things.
All the things.
Anything that they like.
Popsicles, freeze your smoothie and put it in a popsicle maker. And then
Yeah.
they think they're eating popsicles for breakfast.
Yeah, we've done that, like little mini Juice Plus popsicles before too. So the sky's the limit. So definitely Juice Plus for picky eaters. What we're going to do as well is go through some of our core things in our pantry that help us to make our meals dairy-free, but still delicious, creamy and cheesy. Okay, that's the second piece of this tonight. And then we're going to get to the mac and cheese recipe at the end. It's so easy.
Yeah.
We're waiting till the end to do it just to show you
I have it all prepped.
how easy it is. Okay. So hang with us, you guys. So first thing we always have on hand, cashews. Would you like to tell them what we make with cashews, Jake?
Lots of things we do. Oh, she has it written out for me. I'll just read it. Sauces like mac and cheese, the pink sauce. I make a banging 6-hour pasta sauce from canned tomatoes. I used to burn pasta and now I'm making 6-hour pasta sauces from scratch.
Slow clap for Jake.
Slow clap. You do little cashews and some almond milk. I blend that up and then it makes it into a creamy pink sauce. It's like adding a cream to a sauce.
And if you have a high-powered blender, then you don't have to soak your cashews. They will just blend right up. We have a Vitamix and we love it. And you just put them in there with a little bit of the unsweetened, unflavored plant milk, which is critical. Don't give vanilla. That's not good with pasta.
Yep.
And
made a mistake.
Yep. And then you can pour that into pretty much any sauce to make it creamier or just a lighter consistency. If you want it pink instead of red, that's an awesome way to use that.
We make spinach artichoke dips, soups, cauliflower soup, cream of mushroom soup, cream of mushroom soup. Like the sky's the limit with what you can do with these because they're just very hearty.
Amazing. Okay. Next one is beans or legumes. Okay, don't be afraid of these guys. They're an amazing source of plant fiber. They are so important for gut health and a huge important part of helping you feel satiated and full on this program. So I have right here Great Northern beans, because one of our favorite ways to use beans is actually in dips or in soups. Okay, so for dips, things like, of course, hummus, but you can make hummus with white beans, make it white bean dip. So you can get some variety in there for picky eaters. I know our youngest, well, both of our girls love hummus, and they will think anything is hummus if it's just the same consistency. So you can add in other plants, you can add in different varieties of legumes and
different spices too, to just change the entire flavor profile of your dip.
exactly.
And we use an Instant Pot for these. We always cook our beans from scratch. You can go out and buy the cans, rinse them really well. But the Instant Pot is a fantastic addition to your kitchen. We pour it in there, click the beans button.
Yep.
And then it makes beans.
Okay, and then with the beans, if you are making a soup, make sure you have some sort of beans in there. And what you can do to make your soup really creamy and delicious and make it look like there's gluten and dairy and all kinds of stuff in there for your family is you just blend part of it.
Yeah.
So once you're finished making the soup, take it, put it in a blender. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, maybe like a fourth of it. And then you're going to blend it up really nice in a nice high powered blender, pour it back into the soup, stir it around, and you've got this delicious creamy consistency. Also for picky eaters, that is our best hack for getting soup into them. They will pretty much eat anything as long as the texture is there. So they like the creamy, almost like applesaucey texture, right? That's very kid friendly. So we make soups all the time with spinach and rainbow chard and kale from our tower garden. And
don't know.
all kinds of other ingredients. We blend it up, pour it into their bowl, and they have no idea that any of that's in there.
Deception technique is totally acceptable when you're feeding your kids.
Yes, I'm going to give you full permission for that. Now, I am a huge fan of making sure that kids eventually learn how, like, what's in their food. And so for our 5-year-old, she helps us do that. She knows what's in her soup. She just prefers it that way. But we have, if you have an extreme picky eater case, that is where we have to be a little careful with we hide in front of the blender, or, hide the blender from her. Another trick is if you're making pesto or any kind of creamy kind of sauce, you can also use other nuts or seeds, even like pistachios, pine nuts, as well as another one we use. We put pistachios and pine nuts in our pesto that we make. We also make an Alfredo sauce with cauliflower and pine nuts, which is a really amazing way to make the same delicious pasta, fettuccine Alfredo consistency that you probably grew up with at some point, but make it all plant-based, no dairy, delicious and flavorful. That's another way that we kind of integrate that.
I'm going to make that this week.
That would be great. We haven't done that in a while. And cauliflower itself can make things creamy. So that's why you have a cauliflower soup or a cauliflower pasta sauce. That's a really, really good way to make things a little creamier. Okay. Tahini?
Yes.
What do we do with tahini?
This is like in the seedless category.
Tell them what tahini is.
This is sesame, not seedless. This is sesame seeds, just ground up. So this is in the nut-free category. Tahini is your best friend if you have a nut-free family. I know there are tons of things out there right now where people are trying to go nut-free because they have, like, for schools, like, you have a nut-free classroom, sesame seeds, and technically coconut milk, or coconut is a drupaceous fruit and does not lie in the tree nut category.
You heard it here first, you guys.
Drupaceous fruit.
Drupaceous fruit. Way to go, Jake, with the facts. Jake's always got some facts for you guys. So tahini, we use tahini to make dressings, salad dressings, delicious and creamy and taste like Caesar or something else that you're used to having in your, that you miss. Let's just say that. So my favorite dressing recipe is just tahini, fresh lemon juice, a little bit of white wine vinegar, and fresh garlic, little sea salt, and some olive oil.
And you're in a restaurant, just like
and
that.
it's delicious
like
and so fresh and amazing. But the tahini is the key ingredient because it makes it just super yummy. And then we also use it in our peanut sauce that we make with like a big Asian noodle dish bowl. The tahini is one of the main ingredients in that too. So make sure you have a jar of tahini. You're going to see this in a lot of plant-based, dairy-free recipes that you're getting through our community too. Okay, we're almost there, you guys. Coconut milk cans. We always have a can of coconut milk or 10
Yes.
in our pantry because this has so many great uses and is really great for quick throwing meals together. Do you want to tell them about the tofu white
Yes,
rice?
tofu white rice. There's
Okay.
this bag, it's called white rice, and it's a lentil rice. Comes in a little bag in the international aisle. And then I'll just pour a little veggie broth on the stove top, add the whole bag of white rice. I'll add a can of coconut milk and a block of tofu. I'll add oregano, garlic, and salt. And it is, you just put it on the stove top. 15 minutes later, you have a meal. It is such a quick emergency meal.
Yep.
And the girls love it.
Something about the coconut milk just makes it just so decadent and delicious.
It's like
and
risotto. I don't.
yeah,
really
it's really good, and it can tame down some spice. So if your kids don't like spicy foods, and maybe there's a little extra spice in what you're making, add some coconut milk to it. It'll tone it right down, and then everybody can eat the dish that you made. We also make whipped cream out of this. If you haven't learned how to do that, so easy. Put it in the fridge, flip it upside down, let it sit there overnight, and then open it up and pour off the liquid, and you can just whip up the coconut into a delicious whipped cream. So that's one of our favorite things. What are you showing them now?
Chia pudding,
Oh.
coconut milk, banana, chia pudding, just stir it, leave it overnight.
Mhm.
So yummy. A little lime juice too, I think.
No dairy at all, but super creamy. Now for coffee, tea, this is a great thing just to add instead of buying one of the super sugary processed creamers at the store. Just try some plain coconut milk, and of course you can sweeten it up with a little maple syrup or stevia or something. But we make amazing lattes with this too,
Yep.
that are caffeine free and dairy free, but taste delicious. We use the dandelion root tea and the coconut milk and a little bit of natural sweetener, if that even, but it doesn't even need that in my
It's like a
opinion.
latte.
Just like a latte. So I don't think we're going to actually demo this tonight, but I just wanted to remind you, as you're thinking through some of your family favorites, your baking recipes like cookies or cupcakes or anything that you normally make and you might be missing a little bit, you can pretty much take any baking recipe, sub the milk for plant milk.
Yep.
Okay. Sub the egg that's always in there for a flax egg.
Flax egg.
And all you do is mix a little flaxseed with some water. And it's the ratio. You can just Google the ratio. It's online, but it's 2.5 tablespoons of water for 1 tablespoon of flaxseed.
Stir it up, let it sit.
Yep.
It turns into a goopy egg. It's the darndest thing. I do that for all my baking, all my cooking.
So
And there's egg replacer that you can get or in the powdered version, but
yeah.
we do the flax egg all the time.
Super awesome way to just not feel like you're deprived. Like you can buy a normal box of gluten-free pancake mix and still follow the recipe,
Yep.
but just use the plant-based versions of that to make it aligned with our guidelines.
Exactly right.
Okay, nutritional yeast. This goes on everything. This is a great way to make things creamy and cheesy. Veggies, broccoli. We put this on baked potatoes, on popcorn. You probably know about nutritional yeast. It's becoming a big thing now, and it's actually in our mac and cheese recipe. We talked about this yogurt, but I'm a big fan of Greek style yogurt, and Siggy's makes a really good plant-based coconut blend that's kind of Greek style.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorites to use for parfaits. We get plant powders into our girls with it as well. And it's delicious. And then we can't talk about creamy cheesy plants without talking about Complete. I've had this every day of my life, you guys, since I was 5 years old. How crazy is that, right? 28 years of the same smoothie mix, and I'm still not sick of it. I'm obsessed. It's so good. We all know this, right? So you can use this in so many different ways by putting it, of course, in your smoothies to make your smoothies creamy and delicious and hide the texture of maybe spinach or kale or a carrot or a beet or something else you're trying to put in there for picky eaters. This is our secret weapon for moms. It's also my secret weapon when you want something delicious and sweet and kind of a desserty thing after your kids are asleep, so you don't have to share. You can use our Complete Creations recipe book and actually make things like cookie dough and brownie batter and delicious things that are creamy and amazing with the Complete. So reach out to the person who's supporting you with this program, and they will help you get your hands on that recipe book. We use that all the time. Last thing I wanted to touch on before we jump into our mac and cheese recipe is the fact that a lot of people, when they go dairy free, they think, oh, I just need to go to the store and buy a bunch of like cheese substitutes. So we wanted to talk to you guys about that briefly. There are amazing ones out there now, way better than there used to be. Some of our favorite brands are Chow, like the one I'm holding, Violife. There's so many now. I can't list all of them. We'll be here all night. But I want you to look for something that is clean ingredients if you're going to buy something like this. There's some that are a little more junked up, a little more processed, and some that are cleaner. So just be really mindful of that. It really does matter what our kids are consuming, what we're consuming. And a big part of these guidelines is to help clean up your diet so that you can really feel as good as you can feel. The thing that we always try to focus on in a family is not doing just processed, like cheese replacements, but actually making our cheese from scratch with whole foods. So what we're showing you tonight is an example of that. And just know that pretty much anything that you would buy at the store, whether it is vegan mayonnaise, vegan sour cream, vegan, what was the one we were talking about today? Vegan butter.
Yeah, you can make it.
You can make it at home with whole food ingredients. Yeah. Of course, it is not as convenient. So we find balance there as a family. We're not perfect by any means, and you shouldn't be either. But we want to help you just think a little differently about that. Instead of just buying all those replacements, we go with the whole food. Woo, we did it.
Okay, my time to shine.
Go, Jake,
This is
go.
the mac and cheese recipe. We always double everything we do in this house because if we're going to be cooking, we might as well double it because you have leftovers.
Because our kids eat
'Cause our kids
so
eat all of
much
it.
food.
So it's 2 cups of water. I doubled it to 4. I also added the lemon juice in here just to keep things simple. 2 cups of cashews. It's 1 cup of cashews in the recipe, but we're doubling it. I have roasted red bell pepper from the jar and pimentos from the jar. I drained it and washed it.
And all this is on your ingredient
All this
list.
on
You
the
guys, you
ingredient
just
list.
add it all to a blender.
I'm gonna add some sun-dried tomatoes and some of the sun-dried tomato oil. You do not have to do that. I just like to, spice it up a little.
If you're going oil free, just leave that.
And then these are all the dry ingredients. It's nutritional yeast, sea salt, onion powder, dry mustard, garlic powder. Boom, cheese. Now I'm gonna go blend it in the garage and I'll come back and show you.
I love it.
Okay.
See how easy that was? I know you have to like measure, but honestly, as you get better and better at understanding kind of this different way of making food, you won't have to measure anymore. You can just throw things in and it still tastes delicious.
I needed the lid.
Oh, good job, Jake.
Very important.
Doing great.
Thank
So while he's doing that real fast, what you can do once you have all of your cheese sauce in the blender is start your pasta. You can actually start that first if you're trying to get dinner on the table faster. So you're going to cook your favorite gluten-free pasta on the stovetop. One of our favorites to use with this particular recipe is the quinoa brown rice pasta from Trader Joe's, the little spirals, the fusilli. We love that one with this because it holds up. Some of the gluten-free pastas kind of fall apart a little bit, and this mac and cheese recipe is really good reheated over and over again. It's also really good frozen, so it's good. You can make a big batch. So you're going to want to cook your favorite pasta on the stovetop. Of course, just like normal, don't overcook it, drain it, put it back in the pot. And what he's going to show you is how he just pours it into a pan. And we just stir it on low heat until it starts to thicken up. Okay. How's it looking, Jake?
It's looking like cheese when I put it in the stovetop.
Okay, could you show him?
Yeah, let's go for
Yeah,
it.
don't spill
Oh,
on him too.
yeah. Oh,
It's this nice bright orange color. Looks just like if you ever grew up with like
There
the
we go.
Kraft mac and cheese,
There,
right?
it's like totally like Velveeta, man.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Look at that. And then it will thicken up, and especially overnight too, if you want to just, put it in the
Yeah.
fridge.
You can just put it in the fridge, and then, when you're ready to heat it up, it'll thicken up even more. I do want to say, it's hysterical because if you guys have picky eaters, you know how crazy they can sound, and you're processing, their commentary. My example of that is, my girls are obsessed with not liking tomatoes. So funny because literally every food that they love the most is tomatoes. But something about, again, the texture. So the fact that we're getting sun-dried tomatoes, roasted red pepper, pimentos, like all of these
Cashews.
other things, and they just think it's this delicious mac and cheese dish is a huge parent win in my book. So we are
Way to go.
so excited about that.
Thank you for having us. This has been so fun.
It has been fun. I'm going to say a couple more things first.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. I'm getting ready to get to sleep. So once you guys heat that up, you're going to pour it on the pasta. Obviously, we love to add broccoli, spinach, some sort of side of veggie with it. And we just do a little fresh lemon juice, a little bit of fresh garlic, maybe some olive oil if you're doing that, or veggie broth works great too. Avocado oil if you're doing a high heat, that's important. And then serve that. I love to toss it all on top of the bowl when I serve it to myself, because I like a bite of the broccoli with the mac and cheese. Once you're reheating it, all you need to do is pop it in, a pan, and then add some unsweetened, unflavored plant milk. We do the almond milk, but you can do soy milk or oat milk or whatever you have on hand, just a little bit. And that's going to rehydrate it, but keep it creamy. If you add water, it's going to be a little more watered down. So we want to keep that creamy consistency. That's all you have to do to heat it up the next day, which we eat this over and over again as a family. So we have to do that. I am just so grateful that you guys took the time to learn tonight. I hope you got some great ideas. Please connect with us. We would love to continue the conversation. Where I'm on Instagram at Jenna Lee Rude. We have an Instagram for our Raised on Plants brand at Raised on Plants. All the stuff we shared tonight, of course, we love just giving as much as we can to our amazing Juice Plus community. And we're here to serve you guys. Always have been, always will be. I'll forever be a Juice Plus kid and forever be a fan of our Jumpstart guidelines and the amazing things that you guys are doing by being a part of this. I really, really hope you stick with it and that you keep working through those habits and be resilient when your kids might be fighting you on some things, because it does take time, but it makes a huge impact. And I'm a living, breathing example of that. My mom stuck with it, and I've had been able to do so much more with my life already than I would have been had I been sick all the time, had I been struggling with the things I used to struggle with as a child. And so we just look to the future with hope and excitement, and we know there's going to be so many blessings ahead for everyone. And I'm going to turn this